Holy crap. We have states now getting ready to buy Bitcoin. We have new nations talking about it as well. Let's go through what's happening in the market right now. I just got off the plane back, getting back to real life. Have to wait a little bit for the ride, so I figured why not update you on some of the crazy stuff that I've seen coming from politicians since I just posted the video a few hours ago. Really appreciate everyone too that's watching the channel. You can always hit subscribe if you haven't done that already, and I really appreciate everyone that reached out to me and introduced themselves at the conference. I know I've said that several times, but I really want to get that across because it's awesome. If you want to trade crypto, there's a link underneath the video to Margex. You can start trading crypto in just a few seconds. You can leverage trade there. Also, there's a link underneath the video to CoinW as well, in case you want to trade futures or spot in the same place. Now, let me just make sure that you can actually see my screen here. Awesome. Like I said, there's been some crazy stuff. We've covered Trump. We've covered what he's going to do if he becomes president, at least what he says he's going to do. But look at this. This is the game theory. Even if Trump does not become president, which at this point, it looks like the markets are pricing that in, or are maybe not pricing in, but are assuming that he's going to become president. Even without that, the game theory is happening. In the last video, I read some catalysts, rate cuts, stockpile narrative, and FTX 16 billion in cash. What I'm about to talk to you about is the Bitcoin stockpile narrative. Look at this. Hong Kong lawmaker endorses Bitcoin strategic Bitcoin reserve strategy, or stockpile. This is obvious, but not obvious to everyone, that if Donald Trump is talking about this, obviously other countries are going to consider doing this. All right? So the US is not the only one that's done research on Bitcoin. There's going to be China, there's going to be Russia, there's going to be other countries that want some kind of allocation, and it makes sense. And we have more stuff in a second, but it makes sense. Some people might say, oh, they could just go short the market or try to destroy the market. Okay, but if they destroy Bitcoin, what does that do to the US? Really nothing, right? But if it goes well, they could get more of an asset that's going to appreciate and be very valuable and very important in the future. So being pro something that has endless upside is better than being short something that can only go down to zero, right? It's not going to hurt the US if Bitcoin goes down to zero. It'll hurt us as individuals, our freedoms, our ability to control our own narrative, but no one can do that anyways. If China went out and shorted a bunch of Bitcoin, or if they went out and tried to create some issue, they couldn't do it long term. Sure, there could be headwinds, but you can't crush Bitcoin. So countries are looking at buying Bitcoin. Maybe Japan next, maybe Russia, maybe Norway, maybe insert your country. But keep this in mind too. States, many governments are also looking at Bitcoin. Louisiana, this is coming from their governor, okay? 57th governor of Louisiana is tweeting, Louisiana is a leader in Bitcoin, banning CBDCs and protecting self-custody. We should continue to lead by having a strategic reserve of Bitcoin like Donald Trump suggests. Now, I'm not sure if he's saying that. The first time I read this, I thought he was saying Louisiana. I assume that's what he means. Maybe he's just saying that the country should have it, but it seems like he's saying literally the state of Louisiana should have a strategic reserve. This is not a pension. This is the actual state government. And what was the tweet underneath that? Pierre Rochard, who is VP of Research at Riot Platforms, says Texas should follow Louisiana and acquire a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Okay, this is fascinating. Now, this is where game theory gets really important. It's really important not to be last to an asset that appreciates exponentially. You want to be first. What does that mean? You kind of try to get it done very quickly, very aggressively. These nations, these governments are quite wealthy, so they can purchase large amounts. I'm sure there's some rules maybe being even set in the government, like, hey, we know you want Bitcoin, but you have to wait until this point. You have to wait until this is done. Kind of like with financial advisors, right? There's some financial advisors, actually one that we talked to last night, that he's the only one in his office that likes Bitcoin, and he still can't push it towards clients. Like, he's a Bitcoin maxi, he still can't push it to clients yet. So it takes time. Even this will take time, most likely, but we have endless money in this world to buy this finite asset, and everyone is changing. It gives you goosebumps. Now, this is going to continue to happen. If you remember Jason Lowry, who wrote a book talking about basically Bitcoin game theory, using it for security, he had to take his book down. He said, don't worry, because this is a good thing. I'm guessing he got paid to take that book down a significant amount, and he was told to take it down because it gives the playbook for other nations to do something that the US is doing. Now, I also don't think they would need him to take that down if the goal is just to hold on to Bitcoin, right? Like, why does it matter if Bitcoin's price goes up to the US? Why does it matter if other countries get their hands on Bitcoin when you already hold all the Bitcoin you're ever going to buy? Like, at that point, okay, let it appreciate a ton, right? Because then your Bitcoin is worth a lot more. It doesn't matter. Everyone's going to figure it out. Every country's going to figure it out. It's just going to take time. Again, if you have all the Bitcoin you ever want, then it's not important to cut off that playbook. And to cut off the explanation for why Bitcoin's so important. But that does make sense, the government, to ask him to take it down if you're trying to get your hands on more Bitcoin. If you need time to get your hands on more Bitcoin. Again, they had this Bitcoin already. They already had this 210,000, and Trump kind of alluded to the fact that so far it's all been confiscated. Why would you say so far it's all been confiscated unless you are implying that eventually that's not going to be the case? Some people say we're not bullish enough. The bulls are not bullish enough. I think that's the case. Now, of course, I'm a little bit biased. I've been drinking the Bitcoin Kool-Aid. There's going to be volatility. There's going to be lots of volatility. So you have to be able to weather those storms. You have to be able to make it through to the other side without losing too much, right? If you can't handle the volatility, you can lose. So outlast everyone. Hold on to your Bitcoin. Not financial advice, but look at what's happening. Let me know your thoughts underneath the video. Really appreciate everyone for watching. If you want to trade crypto, like I said, it's not right for everyone. But if you do want to leverage, if you want to try to make more, if you want to go on, low leverage, or you want to try and nail bottoms with a portion of your portfolio, there is a link to Margex underneath the video. Sorry for the voice too. We'll be back in the normal location in a bit. I'll see you in the next one.